Daniel Dean sells himself as a high-flying finance broker, pulling at the heartstrings of his investors. But his deceitful tales have left a trail of crumbs, and the so-called gingerbread man has now been caught.
Steve Marsh from the Current Affair, mate.
Run, run, as fast as you can. Can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man.
Have the authorities finally caught up with you, gingerbread man? Isn't that what you call yourself?
That's Daniel, the gingerbread man. Catch me if you can.
It's not as if he's on the French Riviera sipping a margarita. He's walked out of a local court. This gingerbread man's about to be eaten.
Has your business dealings been a recipe for disaster?
Daniel Dean might fancy himself as a suave, high-flying finance broker, but angry clients call him the gingerbread man.
He used to run around to people that he was close and say, I'm the gingerbread man, catch me if you can.
Graham Clark's more than happy to jump on Zoom from Indonesia to describe his dealings with Daniel Dean.
Told me that he was a high-flying stockbroker for Macquarie and he'd done this and he'd done that.
What Daniel Dean hasn't done yet is follow a federal court order to pay Graham Clark $333,000 plus another $19,500 in costs. In a default judgment, Dean was labelled misleading and deceptive by the judge over a failed short-term high-interest business loan agreement between Dean and Clark.
I want the legal system to catch a gingerbread man and eat him so he's crumbed.
Another investor is in the same boat as Graham Clark, waiting for over a year for Dean to follow court orders and cough up more than $83,000.
Once people work out what he's up to, he just disappears.
But at Sydney's Downing Centre Court...
Look at your watch, that's right. It's time to pay up.
We found Daniel Dean, aka the gingerbread man.
People say they're sick to their stomach dealing with you, Daniel Dean. Sick to their stomach.
Dean had just been convicted and fined for not assisting liquidators in the wake of the collapse of his brokerage business, DJD Holdings.
Where did the money go?
Court documents show creditors are $730,000 out of pocket, while Dean hasn't explained why $1,380,881 was transferred from the company account to his personal accounts.
Did you pay yourself $1 million out of the accounts? Where is that money?
Several clients claim Dean strung them along, making excuse after excuse for not paying them, including sending them photos.
There was, I'm in hospital with COVID, and then he said he had septicemia, and he was in getting problems in hospital.
Dean even sent this picture and message to a client who was chasing him for money.
I'll sort it today. Not celebrating. My child has a collapsed lung and needs oxygen and is in dodgy shape. Call you at 10.
But Daniel Dean's estranged in-laws told A Current Affair their grandchild had never suffered a collapsed lung.
If your child wasn't that ill, that's a pretty low act, mate.
That's the saddest thing I've heard, mate, because that was his whole pretense why we all fell for this guy. It was the whole, I've got 4 little kids and my whole life.
You call yourself the gingerbread man. Have the authorities finally caught up with you? You shake your head. There might be a fox at the end of the road there waiting to snap you up, son. Yeah?
I mean, to pull those type of heartstrings with debtors, and it's not even true, it's pathetic.
Debt collection specialist Anthony Igra says the $3,000 fine handed down by the court to Dean, who pleaded guilty for not complying with the liquidator, is laughable.
That's a joke. What incentive is there for him to provide those documents?
Complaints about the so-called gingerbread man have hit police stations in and around Sydney. The brokers particularly feeling the pressure in Gosford on the New South Wales Central Coast, where he's been charged with 20 financial fraud-related offences.
You've got a few other court cases pending. Is it a case of out of the frying pan into the fire?
Daniel Dean's home was engulfed by flames a few years ago. This was Christmas 2019, and the locals rallied around Dean and his family, opening their hearts and wallets. Dean used the insurance payout to build a bigger house, which was later sold. A Current Affair understands the sale proceeds were used to settle outstanding debts with investors who signed non-disclosure agreements banning them from speaking to the media as part of the settlement.
No remorse whatsoever, no.
However, Indonesia-based businessman Graham Clark was among a new batch of investors who struck finance deals with Dean.
He's a scumbag, really, to tell you the truth.
Another of Dean's clients hopes the difficult and drawn-out liquidation process of Dean's failed company will help him recoup some of the $373,000 he claims he's owed.
What hope do these people have of getting their money back?
As close to zero as it possibly could be. There's no source of any funds to pay these people back. I think all they're really going to come out with is a judgment that can't be enforced.
You presented a letter of apology to the court. Why not apologise to the people you owe money to? Why not give them their money back as a form of apology?
Dean told the court he was currently employed, earning a six-figure salary.
Will you pay your debts, Mr. Dean?
And so, much like the children's dark fable,
this was the chance the fox had been waiting for.
the moral of this story is, be careful who you trust.
This isn't a fairy tale ending, Daniel, is it?
And no fairy tale ending for those who lost their life savings either.